ekiri mu Palamenti ya Uganda muliro gwaka gwoshayosha anti ebigambo Mathias Mpuuga nsamba byayanjiza mu Palamenti obujulizi wajjeyo n'alaga eggwanga General Museveni ne bannenge gyabamba bantu bafe okubatta n'okubabuzaawo bibatabudde ekiri eno ngumye tokota kikonde ku kikonde ebbugumu eririyo katugende mangu mangu tosubwe embaga ebiri eno bika
cross border traders in Busia. Madam Speaker, whereas you have guided that the leader of opposition is given 5 slots in this very important
We shall have
debate.
3 independents.
And we, thank you,
We shall have 3 independents.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Asuman, can you sit down? Dr. Bed, sit. You're not a smuggler. Okay. Since both I have got, now let me start with the independents. Dr. Musemesa, Honorable Katuntu, and Macho. But those are independents. Yes, Professor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. A debate of this nature really invites us to be nationalists and debate calmly for the interest of our people. I listened carefully to the statement by the minister and the rejoinder. And I think there are areas of common ground where evidence has been provided. I think this gives an opportunity for government, again, to cross-check and act appropriately in accordance with the law. I think this is okay. And I don't think there should be much contention. But I also take exception where some concepts are used that insinuate or try to demean people. And I would appeal to all of us in this debate to avoid such a concepts, such a insinuations that may ignite tensions in Parliament or even outside the community. And this is addressed to all of us. And finally, I would like to appeal to the oppositions that sometimes issues can also be handled outside the House. There are issues that can be handled outside the House. Madam Speaker, I request for your protection. You see, we are all in the government. The moment you're in Parliament, whether you're in opposition or what, we are all in the government because the government constitutes 3 branches. That's why consultations, even outside the House, are very critical for harmony of this country. Because even when you are provided evidence, someone somewhere outside the House will take an appropriate action. The action cannot be taken, some actions cannot be taken here. They will be taken somewhere. And that's why harmony and respect for one another is very, very important. So the way forward, I am convinced to support is that even after the debate here, let us continue to engage with one another with respect, so that we can all achieve the respect of human rights. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Katuntu.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue of human rights should be a common good. In the 60s, in 1996, colleagues, the NRM regime established what we call the Odell Commission to investigate abuses of human rights from independence. For those of you who are familiar with that report, you would know what happened. This is not an era to talk about people disappearing without trace. We shouldn't. This is not a debate we should be having. And I don't want anybody to use this debate as a political spear to achieve a political purpose. But I don't want anybody also, in my view, to have a political shield, because what eventually becomes a victim are the people of Uganda who are vulnerable. So can we address all the partisan interests in this color and address the issue? And if we do that, really we will live in a better country tomorrow. Why would we start talking politically when somebody out there is complaining about a lost child, a lost son, a lost husband? And I am here calling myself a parent, and I'm not feeling the pain of that parent. I'm not feeling the pain of that child. Colleagues, these are not the issues to joke about. But when a debate like this comes, we are looking for solutions. We are looking for solution to the challenge. And I'd like to thank both sides of the aisle now that we seem to be calm, and let us discuss the solutions to the challenge we may be having. One, in the leader of opposition statement, he's complaining about three things. The first one, which I'll read, is about pre-detention without trial. Government, what can we do about it? What does the law say? Can you detain somebody without trial beyond 48 hours? So where should be the controversy be? Because it is constitutional. Do we have a constitutional order? So that is an area where we should all agree. If there are people who have been detained with trial beyond the constitutionally mandated hours, those government should undertake to have them released unconditionally. And if they committed offense, however grave the offense is, then they will be subjected to the due process of the law. What distinguishes civilized societies, colleagues, is us acting within the law and uncivilized people acting outside the law. That's what distinguishes us. So that should not be an issue for even Right Honorable Speaker for us to debate, and even our emotions rise high. Two, I see the Right Honorable Lop suggesting that there should be a judicial commission of inquiry. I have had the opportunity to look at the law. That is a prerogative of the government. Let them examine what is here, and if it warrants, then they have that opportunity. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, we cannot as Parliament resolve to create a judicial commission of inquiry because of the constitutional limitations we have. it would require resources. And once it is resources, then you cannot do it because it offends the Constitution. So let the government listen and then say, well, in the circumstances, does this matter require a judicial commission of inquiry or not? 2. 3, the right honorable leader of opposition is suggesting to set up a select committee. We shouldn't have regrets in our own committees. We already have a committee on human rights. It's already in place. It's only under circumstances where we don't have a committee specifically provided for that we can resort to ad hoc and select committees. As of now, Right Honorable Speaker, colleagues, let us have faith in our own committees which are in place. Because that's what the rules say. These matters can be handled by the Human Rights Committee, and then we can report. We don't have to be every other time establishing commissions of select committees. That means we have no faith within our own committee. In any case, Right Honorable Speaker, where are you going to get these members who are not from this committee? If you don't have faith in them, in these ones who are here, and they all belong to different committees. So are we going to get members outside? And the people who are on these committees actually were designated by both sides. The opposition designated members to that committee, and the government side also designated members. So we have committees in place which can discuss and investigate these matters which are still pending. We don't have to be establishing another select committee. Right Honorable Speaker, there is this other issue which if they are I see compensation on page 3. What should be the problem? I thought the government had already taken that decision. I don't know why we're even debating it. Because the president came out clearly that if there are people who lost their lives unlawfully, then government is going to compensate their families. So the issue is, have those been compensated or not? And if they have not been compensated, then the government should undertake to follow up what His Excellency the President promised the country. We don't have to be debating so much about whether they should be compensated or not. Did they lose their lives unfairly during the riots? If they did, then they can be compensated in accordance with the law. And government has already taken a stand on that. So I expect the Minister of Justice.
Honorable Katonto, maybe just on compensation issues. And I think AG's office is in line with what the president said. They've compensated some people, and others are still under negotiation. And I wouldn't want this document to be laid on table because it will expose these people. But we can share it with the leader of opposition.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, it's about the issue of the Army Court. It's quite controversial, Army Court trying civilians. But this matter is in the Supreme Court. The issue is in the Supreme Court. We cannot be prosecuting a case here and the courts of law prosecuting the same case. We can't. We are going to cause a conflict of institutions of government. We are trying to conflict with each other on who has the mandate to do what.
Honorable members, in that aspect, in that prayer, that would amount to sub judice. And I'm happy that my say that sub judice can only be determined by the speaker, and I'm determining that issue is amounts to sub judice.
Right, Honorable Speaker, now that you've determined, I can't even go beyond what I was. But at the end of the day, there is a case of the Honorable Kabeziruka. His content.
Kabeziruka.
Right, Honorable, something like that. kabaziruka. All right, Honorable Speaker, that reminds me of a joke with my friend General Tafide. He was seated and somebody said, I want Chamsapat. And why doesn't he put S in the right place and CH in the right place? So that name, which my Kabaziguruka, is already in the Supreme Court. And the issue there is whether the military courts have got mandate to try civilians in the court martial. Until that has been determined, I can't ask, I mean, we discuss it to what end? What are we going to resolve? That they have or they don't? Do we have that mandate? We can only have that mandate if we are changing the law. But even that to come to the floor, as long as that case has not been determined, I mean, in my view, like the Honorable Right Speaker rules rightly, it will be sub judice. So it is a very difficult subject, but we have no choice as of now. Let us await for the decisions of the Supreme Court, then we can one way or the other discuss. I would like to thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Just hold on a bit.
The right point.
Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs, can we hear from you?
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I've listened keenly and carefully the rejoinder shared belatedly by the Honorable Leader of Opposition.
What is your procedure matter?
Madam Speaker, based on your earlier guidance, that this matter should not be a ping pong between the minister and the leader of opposition. And you prepared us to debate and you gave both sides the number. Have you changed the... Now that the minister is coming on the floor, Madam Speaker, I'm seeking for your...
Honorable Kanya, I'm not sure that you're competent enough to defy the directive of the speaker.
Like I said, I listened carefully, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, about the rejoinder of the Honorable Leader of Opposition. And to show the seriousness of government, we had the courtesy even to listen to the new things he brought in his rejoinder, because we take seriously the matter of human rights. That said, I want to still maintain, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, and to stick to our response, which was honest, elaborate, and detailed. And it even left avenues for remedy for those who felt unsatisfied by that response in anticipation. And those remedies are known to the law. Lop said that time, and I quote, he asked whether we feel pain and are alive, and if we feel for others and are human. I want to restate here that we are both and even more. We do, however, even have the obligation as government to protect and preserve human rights as enjoined by the Constitution of Uganda. In other words, it is our call. If I may, my colleagues will help on specifics, but I'll hazard some response on some of the issues raised in my response. Government didn't conceal anything. We even gave more. You remember, leader of opposition talked about, for example, only 21 fatalities. Government gave all the 56 people who lost their lives. Is that not consistent with a government that wants to account? He didn't talk about injured persons. We revealed that there were people who were injured. Is that consistent with someone who wants to conceal the truth? And I even beg the question of the logic of mentioning only 21 people. Were those only party members of NUP? And the rest didn't matter? Only he can answer. So government, in short, volunteered this information to demonstrate accountability. He didn't mention about the destruction in the riots and those responsible who are arrested, many tried and convicted, others released, and others on bail. That too is accountability. In some, accountability shouldn't be selective. It must be honest and total. On the vehicles, we gave our all, which was sufficient. In particular, about the two identifiable ones, we even identified the driver of the police vehicle. Regarding the girl who died, there was no attempt at all to cover up. What better accountability can we give? Fishing communities and related matters of pre-trial detention, explanations were given. In a nutshell, I want to say, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, that it is the right of any aggrieved person to invoke the many remedies under the law if they are not sufficiently convinced by what government does, like in this instance, our colleagues on the other side. But I want to pledge that we shall continue to fulfill our obligation to address misconduct within law enforcement and security agencies, be they related to some of the hanging issues here or others that may arise. It is our calling and duty to do so to ensure the safety and security of Ugandans. I beg to submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable General, there is an issue that was raised on persons being detained without trial. We want a government commitment that you're going to make a follow-up. Make a follow-up. Yes. I mean, make a follow-up and see what can be done.
Right Honorable Speaker, we shall verify, and if found true, take appropriate action.
Yes,
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, at the beginning in your preamble,
I thought I was going to get murdered. You gave me a list.
no, I wrote on a procedure matter, Madam, with your indulgence. When you asked the minister to make a commitment on the people severally in detention without trial for several years, my understanding was that the minister was going to raise and commit with time frames, because the minister is not only aware of the names, the numbers, and where they are detained, he's actually responsible for where they are and their conditions. Honourable Speaker, I find difficult and very compelling that I should listen to the minister at this level with that kind of tone. Right, Honourable Speaker, are we making headway?
Which tone do you want him to use?
Right, Honourable Speaker,
Maybe
the minister,
maybe that's how he speaks.
yeah, sure. The minister came here aware of people detained without trial for more than 2 and 3 years, respectively. He's also aware of the fact that the state has failed to prosecute them, Right, Honourable Speaker.
Honorable.
Without being clear on time frames and action, can Parliament debate in generalities?
Honorable Lop, let's debate on this issue. I'll make decisions. Okay? I'll make a ruling. Segona.
I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank colleagues that have said that on matters human rights, we should speak with one voice. I have opposed Genome 7 all my life, but I've had one occasion at least now to agree with him on certain matters. I remember those days when the Honorable Chris Bariomunsi was held at Ginger Road in relation to the death of the Honorable Serena Nebanda. I had my first agreement with Genome 7 when he said, those who say we kill civilians are idiots. Genome 7 has also told us, especially those of us who were not old enough during the days of Idi Amin, that the reason he called past leaders swine was because they did not know the value of human life. Let's all agree with him that we must value human life from today on. First, were there abductions and did they have disappearances? And the answer is in the affirmative. Number two, are we proud as a parliament? Professor Mshemeza said we are government. Are we proud as government that some people could not be accounted for in the year 2023 and that we can haggle over that? The answer is in the negative. Madam Speaker, we are not comfortable that some of our children disappeared. They left children unattended to. I listened to a story of a woman who remained with a child.
May thought
Yes, ma'am.
in this debate would act like what Honorable Katuntu did by coming with a way forward. Now that we know what is happening, how do we advise government?
Thank you. Let me advise government as you guide.
How do we work together to solve this problem?
Okay. Let me advise government. Number one, the High Court has guided us in the case of Nicholas Opio versus the Attorney General. When Nicholas was being tried for a long time without readiness on the part of government, the court gave timelines, and what the state did was to withdraw. For those people that you have failed to prosecute for years, be humble and withdraw, because you cannot prosecute them. Madam Speaker, I am an example. I'm a living example. In the year 2008, I was kidnapped. I was charged. 15 years down the road, I'm on bail. So, but there are those that are not on bail.
The issue has been understood.
That's point number one. Number two, and I'm advising government as you asked me. Number two, we have disagreed as politicians on what to do with these people who are allegedly in disappearance. Let's get somebody, let's get an arbiter. The Constitution gave us an arbiter, and that is the judicial arm. Let's appoint a judicial committee, a judicial commission of inquiry, where everybody will go and present, and we shall all be bound. I am alive to the financial implications that have been alluded to by my brother, Honorable Katuntu. Very alive. That's why we are proposing to come up with a joint position as government. If we agree, it will come with the certificate of financial
So we are all
implications.
now government.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm happy you have agreed your government.
Number three.
The issue,
Madam Speaker.
the issue that was raised by Honorable Katuntu affects Article 93. It has a financial implication of us getting a judicial service commission.
That's why it comes from all of us.
Yes.
Let's agree. Let's agree. Number four, these security organs of ours, we made a law, the Security Organizations Act. In section 4, we did forbid them from arresting and detaining. Let them stop. Are you not embarrassed, colleagues in government? And now I'm talking about us. That somebody is in police custody today. The following day, they say, we handed him over to CMI, and he's missing. And is missing for years. Honorable members, honorable colleagues, let us stop. Let us give confidence and equipment to our police to do their work. Let the security organizations do their work. I can see the trouble with my brother, Nrm Nebakiriza. Nrm Nebakiriza is Minister of State for Internal Affairs. But he's not in charge of the people abducting. He's here speaking. The English call it being the ugly face of the devil. The person in charge of the abducting institutions is Nrm Nebakiriza. He's not here. Sorry for the closeness of the name. Nrm Nebakiriza. Security. We are dealing with CMI. We are dealing with ISO. Because police had these people in custody and handed them over to CMI. The drones are not operated by the police.
He wants to clear something.
Just let him clear. I know.
For the record, CMI is not under the Honorable Jim. It's under UPDF. Under the Honorable both here.
Under Honorable both.
Oh, I'm happy now that I have the suspect. And I have the suspect closest to me and to my heart. I want to thank Nrm Nebakiriza for correcting me on that. But we have ISO. Now that both honorable is here, let's see a commitment that his forces are going to comply with the law. Honorable both. We made a law and we said, your people should not arrest and detain citizens. And beyond detaining, you're detaining unconstitutionally. I want you to express your pride on the microphone and say, we are doing the right thing under the Constitution and under the Act. Right, Honorable Speaker. Let's agree. I agree with the Honorable Katuntu that we have our committees and we should empower them to work. And these committees include the Committee on Human Rights, which, for the record, we have stated before, is an oversight committee and is not a sectoral committee. It should not be the other side. It should be this side. That notwithstanding, and I have immense respect for the committee, as well as some fair respect for the Honorable Fox Odoi, and I will explain why fair. Why fair? Because he's the only one who has disagreed with the entire House. And that notwithstanding, Madam Speaker, even a select committee is a committee of Parliament. It is envisaged in the rules to do a specialized job. And we have done it before. And that one is done by none other than the person we trust most in this House. It is you, the Speaker. Madam, sit in that chair, take that decision, appoint this select committee. For those other issues that we cannot agree on as politicians, let us refer them. Indeed, I am very happy the Honorable Minister for Justice has come out to say that as government, and I quote him, we are stuck naked on the issue of human rights. Now, I want all of us to wash ourselves clean. Let's appoint a committee that is purely professional, that is devoid of political biases, that will bring all of us together. It is a discretion, I agree, a discretion of the minister. That's why we are here, to appeal to the minister. Unfortunately, he's not here. Oh, the deputy is here. I'm glad that the deputy minister for justice is here. Clarification is never denied, especially from a person like me.
Be respectful, Honorable. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I thank Honorable Segona for yielding the floor. You insinuate that committees of the House produce biased work. Could you clarify? Because you are saying a select committee is the only one, just hold on, is the only one which can give work which is professional and biased, as if the various committees which we constitute in the House cannot give objective and professional work. Could you clarify?
Honorable members,
I'm very happy.
Honorable members, before you, first of all, the committees that we have are very professional committees. And the committees do a very good job. One of my best committees in this house is Park Central. Park Central, headed by none other than Honorable Segona and Honorable Asuman. It's one of the best committees. And let's, like what Honorable committees, unless we don't have a line committee that should be able to handle this. Now we have a committee of human rights, and the person you have there is actually a very good person. Human rights. All honorable members, we need to agree on this. Let human rights handle that issue. Where there is a problem, then we shall intervene. I have two suggestions. One, get a select committee, and then the other one get the line committee. I'm going to put a question.
I have to clarify, I've been misrepresented on the record, Madam. Right Honorable Speaker, with immense respect to my brother, the Honorable Dr. Chris Bariomos, actually he has reinforced my position by seeking this clarification. I have trust in our committees. I only said, on those matters where we have disagreed, not disrespected, we have disagreed on matters to do with how to handle the missing persons. I suggested a commission of inquiry. With respect to the committee issues of the Honorable Fox Odoy, who is senior to me, I guess not by age, but length in legal practice, I only said a select committee is equally a committee of the House. I was shielding him because this committee has handled these matters and we have not come to a conclusion. We are still haggling, we are still fighting, and we want to remain united. The Speaker, in choosing a select committee, is guided by specific considerations. For example, the professions of the members is choosing, the experience she is choosing, the experience of the members she's choosing, the collectedness of the members she is choosing, and of course, the numerics in terms of numbers. You want to get people that are fewer and therefore dedicate sufficient time to address the issues in contention. Finally, Madam Speaker, it hurts all of us it hurts all of us, that in the year 2023, when we are losing people to COVID-19, we are losing people to HIV, we can still lose people with our own negative interventions. I pray that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's reduce the time. Let me have Tim. Tim was raising a procedure matter,
Yes.
then I come back to you.
Madam Speaker was raising a procedure matter to my honorable colleague. It's not on the floor. But
No, that is not on the floor. It is okay.
I'll put my.
No, you first
my
it.
debate.
First it.
Thank
Honorable Bua. Hello.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable
This
Speaker.
boy is disturbing me.
Madam Speaker, the Lop in his conclusion invited the House to rise to the occasion. I am rising to the occasion, first of all, to say the following. One is to thank you, Lop, because this has been a journey. And from a long list, we came to 18. This statement on page 4, the Lop made a choice to highlight some of the cases that clearly indicate glaring contradictions. And Right Honorable Speaker, I want to restrict my submission on the written text of the rejoinder. Parliament, as the temple of legislation, is a house of record. And our record must be consistent, in my humble opinion, not full of contradictions. This is the rejoinder to me in a layman language response to the statement by the minister. I wish to start, and also I am going to raise glaring contradictions, because they are. On page 7, under the name Semudu Michael Jackson, on the attachment that were laid on table, there exists a photocopy of the national ID of one Semudu Michael Jackson. And I want to confirm that the national ID is indeed a true record of Semudu Michael Jackson. However, on the list that was submitted earlier on, where the minister made a response, under the name Semudu Michael Jackson, these are now contradictions I'm also raising. The reference number given by the same source was KMG GEF 460 of 2023. The rejoinder, the same name Semudu Michael Jackson, has now a different reference number. The reference number is SDREF 84 26 11 2020. The source is the statement. It is here contained on page 7. And this is Annex F of what the minister laid on table the other day. That said, Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to move to Mr. Wangolo Dennis on page number 6. And the reason why I started with this, because the leader of opposition chose an evidence-based submission, especially on the 4. And this is an evidence-based parliament. On page number 6, under the case of Wangolo Dennis, the leader of opposition in his rejoinder.
Yes, procedure.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, earlier on, you kind of showed us guidance by appreciating the Honorable Katuntu for coming up with solutions. Right Honorable Speaker, the Chief Whip is before us here, talking about matters that are going to raise tempers further. Right Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, we had reached a level of giving solutions, and I remember the Honorable Segona was advised to go to solutions. Can the government chief whip do not take us back? Because we have those arguments. You have to tell us, go to the level of solutions. Give us the solutions. How do we end this? That's all we are waiting for. Madam Speaker, are we proceeding well with the chief whip taking us back to peripherals when we had made the steps? Otherwise, all of us can go into those small arguments.
Honorable members, I loved how calm the house, and I want to appreciate Katuntu, Honorable Katuntu. He put a house in a calm position, and we should have finished this issue.
Yes.
Honorable members, and I told you people, let's not open the Pandora box. Let's not, because they are there. Let's not open the Pandora box. Now you've seen what this side is also bringing. Now we're on ping pong. Ping pong. Wait. He's not lying. Honorable members, if you want to make a noise, Nansana is not very far. You get it, eh? Let's agree. You know, we already have solutions to this. Because for me, I would put each and every item, every prayer to vote. And we conclude on this. The issue of detaining people without trial is something which was even said is not anything to be discussed. It is not correct. Honorable members, I want us to start with that issue of detaining people beyond the 48 hours. It is that leads into another disappearance. You get it, eh? So that should not be an issue. Honorable both, what do you think about that? Honorable members, listen, let's solve a problem.
I think, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with you. And I want also to appreciate our senior, Honorable Katuntu, though he's holding his chin after he has given very valuable prognosis and way forward. However, what needs to be clarified here is if we are to get solutions, we need to get solutions based on correct facts. The issue of human rights is as human as it is. Nobody can ever show any sign of pride, which is actually absence of space for wisdom.
Yes. Yes. Honorable members,
So the issue,
these people are obstructing me.
the issue of pre-trial,
Yes.
I've looked at
Listen, this is a very important issue. Honorable both.
yes, and I think that we were
Solution, yes.
we're making a way forward. In one way or the other, this has to come to an end. How it ends, we can also agree on it here. And we must agree. The General Muhoozi stated that we are alive, we are human. Being a minister does not detach us from the populace.
True.
Being ministers or being in the government does not mean that we are blind to the suffering of other people. So we should not be cast out as we are insensitive, numb, or
Honorable members, let's listen. I thought you want a solution.
I said to be portrayed so. And you are my junior, you need to listen. 36,000 people, 422 is captured on the page 15 of the Lopez report, which these statistics were given by the government. What is disturbing here is that it says all these are on remand, courtesy of detention without trial.
Yes.
You never get to be remanded if you've not initiated the process of trial. Any basic lawyering skills. Now, if we can, which can be outside here, and I've said it here, we need, I'm Minister of Defense, I'm in the Ministry of Defense, actually even now holding the fort. If I get to know the specific number and the names of people that are with us, or ministers, or CMI, or not in a gazetted place, we can make undertaking to resolve this matter. But those who are in remand, those are people in a legal process. It could be delayed. No. Yes. Okay.
First.
Clarification.
Yes.
I think
why don't you
issue
leave him to
of
finish?
remand is remand. It cannot be that one, and I need Love to clarify here whether this is what he meant, that the 36,000 people, 422, which government said they are on remand, and these are the people he construes as detention without trial. That basic lawyering skills and knowledge should help us. And let Lop clear.
Lop, let's have Lop.
First of all, I want to thank the Comrade OO for rising to the occasion to speak to this gap. I raised those figures, right, Honourable Speaker, to bring to the attention of the House the extent of the lethargic approach to justice, especially in our criminal justice system. And
you listen to Lop when he's making, in fact,
OO is brilliant enough to know what actually I was referring to. He's only trying to be political. I did state those figures to tell the extent to which our prisons are congested, and part of the congestion is occasioned by person detained without trial. Secondly, he's saying that he's committing to intervene if he gets to know who is in CMI, who is with the ISO, from whom are you trying to know those people with the CMI and ISO? Is it us or you in charge?
No, what he says is going to find out from...
Right, Honourable Speaker, that was not his statement. Let me finalize. And you see, because we are dealing with the evidence, I have laid bare the fact that there is admission of government agencies to the detention of Damulira. Let him respond to Damulira in particular terms. as a starting point.
There's a procedural matter.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you for allowing me to raise the procedural matter. Honorable Speaker, you are allowing the House to debate on what I would call half information from the Right Honorable Lop. Lop has presented a half of the information and has laid it on table, some other information that would help this House take a decision. Because we have not seen all the information, it would be a disservice to this country and the House to take a decision. And he has tricked this House to provide to demand for unconditional release, which is not in the power of this House, which I don't agree with him. He has provided also for establishment of a judicial commission of inquiry. Commission of judicial inquiry cannot go with select committee, and we don't have power to establish a commission of inquiry. If we have power to establish the select committee, which select committee can get all the information and presented materials under Article 90 of the Constitution, let it be so that we have a select committee, we process the matter, we come here, take a decision which is informed. Otherwise, we have a half information from the Speaker. Would it be procedurally right for us to have all the information as processed, as presented, so that we take a decision? I thank you.
Honorable members, we'll take a decision on whether we'll have a committee select, whether human rights or whichever. We'll take a decision at the end of it. We wanted a clarification first from Honorable Both. Since the General said CMI is or whichever is under him. So can you give us a clarification and what you think about the specific prayer? Specific prayer.
Right Honorable Speaker, I have understood now what Lop referred to about the delay in trying people and the number that he quoted. And I think that one still falls under Uganda Police. But when we are here, and Uganda prisons, when we are here, and I thought for once that since human rights is as universal as a Catholic Church, I thought we would speak with one voice. That we would not politicize anybody's right, anybody's death. Right Honorable Speaker, now that the Lop, my very good friend, we've never had he has clarified to me, I am devoid of any other doubt that he was referring to those who are in detention, who are on remand, not those in CMI.
So what is the way forward? What is the way forward? Can I have Attorney General? Yes?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. The matter in issue is the allegation that so many people are in detention without trial.
Asman, why are you pointing at my age? Come back where you're seated. Come back.
Right Honorable Speaker, the matter in issue as raised by Lop is that so many people
Honorable,
are on remand without trial.
You sit.
I repeat, Right Honorable Speaker, the matter as raised by the Leader of Opposition is that very many people are on remand without trial. That we accept and agree. And this last week, this very parliament passed an amendment to the Judicature Act to increase the number of judges. And you know for a fact that following the enactment of the
Go ahead.
you know for a fact that the Judicial Service Commission has been appointing judicial officers to increase the number in order to deal with the backlog. So no effort is being spared to make sure that the numbers of people that are on remand pending trial are brought down. Thank you.
Thank you. We actually increase to 35. 35.
Much obliged, Honorable Speaker. The Land Attorney General is making reference to case backlog, meaning that the state investigated and therefore matters are pending trial. Is the Land Attorney General aware of the so many empty files of persons detained for more than 2 years without any report of an investigation? Are you alive to that? Do they require appointment of judicial officers, like you're saying, that they were pending, when there's not a single? We have appeared before court, and all they say, for more than 2 years, the state is still investigating.
Okay.
Is he alive to that fact?
AG. AG.
Thank you. Right, Honorable Speaker. My friend, the Deputy Attorney General, the Judicature Amendment Act we passed was in respect of increasing justices of the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court.
The bill we passed?
Yes.
It's not yet an act.
Okay. In respect of the justices of the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court, who only entertain matters at appellate level. And we are talking about pre-trial detainees, people who have been detained either by remand of court or otherwise, but who have not been tried for longer days than is constitutionally provided for. Two, we are talking about putting people in jails in respect of non-existing offenses under the guise of the what? Subversive activities. Can you look through your prisons and get all those people who are in prisons on the infamous subversive charge, and to those who have exceeded their constitutional dates on remand, and have them released?
Honorable, and these are things I'm saying that let's now go to solutions. Let government go and look at its prisons, look at itself. You get it, eh? Look at itself and understand if there are people who are in prison and have no cases, if they are political, but it must be with a thorough analysis. Criminality should not be mixed with the politics. Let him respond.
Thank you for your guidance, Right Honorable Speaker. I do appreciate my senior colleague, Honorable Wilfred Nwagaba. I spoke first in respect of the administration of judiciary law that we passed in the 10th Parliament, which allowed the Judicial Service Commission to appoint more judicial officers. But be that as it may, be that as it may, be that as it may, I do understand the concern of the leader of opposition that there are people who have exceeded the mandatory period of remand. Now, we need to work backwards. I can undertake to engage with the Chief Justice, with the Principal Judge, with the Chief Registrar, so that they find out,
that those offenses cannot,
and the Deputy Chief Justice, and the DPP. We shall work together as judiciary,
clarification, Madam
work
Speaker.
backwards,
Clarification.
and see if there are people who have spent a period longer than they ought to on remand.
Clarification.
Then they will be released.
You know the problem. The problem it is like you don't want solutions. Somebody is committing himself and saying, I am going to make a follow-up and then get back. Chivumbi. Then Honorable.
Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker. When I was in school, and I was there at the same time with my friend Oboth, we were told the incomparables, things you cannot compare. We are speaking about any government, any office of government, be it a member of parliament, undertakes to protect people's lives and property. And I'm speaking for justification for number 2. I'm being specific on the establishment of Judicial Commission of Inquiry. Right Honorable Speaker, can we find space to compare a missing person with financial implication? Because what you are trying to do.
And also before you go there, can you look at all your books of law and find out whether you have a body mandated to handle issues of human rights, and ask yourself, why are you running from that body? You as Parliament of Uganda formed that body, gave it the powers to handle issues of human rights. Now you're saying, let's go away and form a Judicial Service Commission. I want you to look at the two things.
Yeah, I will navigate those issues, Right Honorable Speaker. I think we should be the last persons where any Ugandan is missing. Countries commit troops to die. They go to war if their persons are missing. Now, anyone, even they go to war to reclaim dead people, those who have been in the front line. If your colleague dies, you can commit more soldiers, risk more death to claim a dead person. But here we are on this day, trying to invoke a financial implication in the argument against finding missing Ugandans. Right Honorable Speaker, I find that argument not only weak, no, I can't use that word. I find
Who is that who has said nonsensical? Who is that? Who? Not Chivumbi. Who is that? It is you. No, you. Nansana. Get up. You can't do that in this house.
Guidance,
You people, you're not going to take us for granted in this house. I have a level of patience. Can you come and apologize?
Sorry, Madam Speaker, for the statement I made. If it,
withdraw it.
I'm withdrawing it. But
what statement?
Madam Speaker, I was not on the
nonsensical. How?
It was not on liquid, but
can you withdraw it?
I've withdrawn it, Madam.
With
due respect, Madam Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker, there is a video that I've watched over and over again by President Yoweri Museveni. I think that video was that statement he made immediately after taking over power. He said it on what? He said his government, he will not preside over a government where a Ugandan is lost and cannot be traced or are not accounted for. Our argument in the select committee, Right Honorable Speaker, we don't have the powers, is to recommend to government, if it finds it necessary, under these circumstances, where, Right Honorable Speaker, one, the Committee of Parliament has had a go at this issue. The Human Rights Commission has had a go at this issue and failed. And given that those other committees have had their chance and fallen short of satisfying or finding Ugandans that are missing, and we are talking about 18, we can speak about a single Ugandan. We must find somewhere to trace any Ugandan who is missing. And if it means a little bit spending public money, it should be spent. I like government to come back here and reject this decision and say, we don't have that money. That could be it. So I find that argument, which has been really ably moved by my senior colleague, fairly not comparable. Even in relative terms, I studied the law of relativity. Even in relative terms, it's difficult to take. Can you imagine? We have a heart, we have a space in our heart to talk about financial implication for a father, for a mother, for a daughter, for a son of a father missing. I think I would like to appeal to this house in this hour, evening hour, is that recommendation of judicial inquiry cannot be struck down because of financial implications. What then are resources of government for? If they cannot be for to serve to people, to protect people's life. Right Honorable Speaker.
Procedure. Procedure.
Yes, Haji.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. It is not how beautiful you can put the point. What does the Constitution say? What does the Constitution say? Article 93. What it bars this house to do what you are saying. Just, can I have the Constitution? Please, this is not an academic argument. It's not an academic argument. If you want to do something, please, however well-intentioned you are, you must do it in accordance with the law. So, and Right Honorable Speaker, if I may read this.
Are we talking about the Judicial Service Commission? I mean the Judicial Commission?
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker.
Okay.
Right Honorable Speaker, Parliament shall not, shall, and shall means mandatory, unless the bill or the motion is introduced on behalf of government, proceed upon a bill, including an amendment bill that makes provision for any of the following. Proceed upon a motion, that is B, upon what? A motion. And resolutions always arise out of a motion. Include an amendment even to that motion, the effect of which would be to make a provision for, and for the purposes of specified in paragraph A of this article. So however well-intentioned you are, you must act within the law. And if you want to act within the law, because you are well-intentioned, I can tell you, you'll be acting illegally or unconstitutionally.
Honorable Katonto, if I understood Honorable Chivombe very well, he knows and is aware of the law, he is aware of Article 93. And for him, he's saying, he's requesting government. He's requesting government, not that he does not have the locus to bring the motion to that effect, but he's requesting government. And that's why I was saying, now that is requesting government, that's where we will put now, we will now go and look at prayer by prayer and see whether government is willing to bring a motion to that effect or not.
the government. We don't need explanations.
Yes, there's a procedure matter from Dr. Chris. Hey, you want to submit? Yes, there's a procedure matter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I do understand where the opposition are coming from, but I just wanted us to look back, Madam Speaker. I'm on the floor, please. I just wanted us to.
You understand where our colleagues are coming from.
Yeah, I understand where our colleagues are coming from. Thank you for the clarification. Madam Speaker.
Embeera bw'eri mu Parliament, omuliro gwongedde okwata, gwongedde okwaka. Amaanyi gongedde okuvaayo, Bwino ayongera okuvaayo buli kadde buli kaseera n'okuwangana ebirowoozo ku kino ekiwamba abantu General Museveni kye yaleetawo. Aba NRM ne Speaker waabwe bagezaako okukikwekereza okukijja mu maatu g'abantu ekyokuwamba abantu nga bateekawo ekyokusiba abantu ebbanga eddene nga batuggyako bana 18 ababuze abatalabibwako, naye baganda baffe aba gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi aba NUP oba opposition bagezezzaako nnyo okukomyawo ekifaananyi ekyo bali kye bagezaako okusiimuula kati omuliro gwongera okwaka gukyeyongera okubugujja. Ffe tuli tugenda kuba tubikwetera okubikulaga, naye nsaba mpumulemu akadakika katono nnyo nkomawo n'ebirala nga bigenda okubaawo bwe biriwo mu Parliament. Omukama tunasaba bankuumire mweraba.